Okay, Proverbs 25, Message Bible.
Message.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Oh, I love the message.
Further wise sayings from Solomon. That's the title. There are also some Proverbs of Solomon, collected by scribes of Helsinki, king of Judah. And that's not the way you
Hezekiah.
God delights in concealing things. Scientists delight in covering things up. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. God delights in concealing things. Why would God conceal anything from his children?
He wants you to come after it. He wants you to dig for it, to have the passion to dig for it.
Earn it?
No, not earning.
Not earn it?
No earning.
Okay.
It's just desire.
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 And he doesn't want the wicked to know.
Okay. How about you, Eddie?
No comment.
No comment. Spoken.
I need to learn that, Eddie, right there. That's a good one.
Yeah, works right when you're in court. God delights in concealing things. Scientists delight in covering things up. Why would scientists and religion not be compatible?
Well, the scientists, if you're not born again, they don't want God to get the glory. They just want their intellect to rule.
Okay. Good.
They can't prove scientifically about miracles, about Jesus' birth. If they can't prove something, they don't believe in it.
Excellent. How about you?
What was the
What's the
question?
question?
Help me out.
Why can't scientists and clergymen get along, or God, or whatever? Why can't they get along? Because that's what they say, scientists cover things up. God delights in concealing things. It's not congruent.
Which verse are you? Oh, you still on verse 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I want we're digging deep in here. This is not just yes and no answers. I want to know your reasoning behind your answer.
But they have proven about the scripture. Scientists have proven. They found the text.
Yeah, old Dead Sea Scrolls.
So, but the best example for your question would be evolution. Why do scientists push it? And basically, I use the word religion, which is false also.
Well, it is a false religion, but it is a
Right.
religion. Religion doesn't mean God. It means a study or a course.
But they're pushing evolution, and then the Bible pushes it's not so. Why is that?
Scientists want to be number one in everybody's life.
Really?
Now, way back into the 1500s, 1400s, Galileo and all that stuff, scientists and church got along real well. But then church didn't like scientists anymore, so if you were a scientist, you were a heretic. That's where, what do you call it, becoming an apothecary. They did that back then, and those were magicians, and it was tied into the satanic thing, and that's why religion hated scientists, and they turned their back on them. So what scientists are going to do? They're going to turn their back on religion, but that's where it started, way back then. And it's just gotten progressively worse. Now, the science, they're going to be number one. God cannot be number one if you're a blown scientist, because if you are a believer, you get kicked out. They won't tolerate that. The big blow to the scientists were that they found soft tissue, blood veins, and blood in dinosaur bones. And dinosaurs, as you know, are millions of years old, supposedly.
Has to be, or evolution doesn't work.
That shows it's 4,000 or 5,000 years old.
And could be less than that, yeah. And so and they had to revamp. They had this one scientist saying, "Now look at this," and then she had to make an excuse why she found it. But yeah, they're doing this all day. They're cutting bones and they're finding blood veins and soft tissue and type of blood. So in essence, could they take that and put it in like Jurassic Park and grow their own dinosaurs? Yes, they can.
If you're in academics and you come up with the truth, backed up by scientists, you're
excluded from the club.
Yes, you're kicked out of college, or you're not a professor anymore, or science,
I mean,
yeah,
they-
they get rid of you quick.
yeah.
They have to, that's the only way they can, because it destroys what they believe that they, some don't believe this. I mean, I've listened to them, and really intelligent guys, very smart doctors and stuff, and they'll get into this evolution crap, and I just have to train doctors, it's insanity. It's not the way it works. But yeah, I mean, this triceratops, that looked like a rhino with two big giant horns, three horns coming out of his head, and he had a big mask around his head. You guys remember those as kids?
Yeah, I do.
Well, they cut his bones into, it was coming out of it, and they found the blood and the soft tissues and stuff. Well, this is years and years ago. But yeah, and they've got dinosaurs on Earth right now, not as big as the ones they were, because they can't be, because the air content and the magnetic energy is not the same. So why don't we live to be 1,000 years old like they did in the old Bible? Well, one reason is we're not living on the same place. Earth has changed.
Is it global warming?
No.
So what?
That,
Global
but
warming.
that's the scientists trying to take over religion again. You know that. There's
I think, I know what it is. It's too many straws. We need to do what
Yeah.
Starbucks is doing, tell them straws to go jump in the river.
No, it's, you know,
Are you young Earth or old Earth?
young Earth. I don't believe in this, but
Yeah, I do too.
Genesis 1.5 or whatever.
Right.
No,
Yeah. No,
God didn't
no
have to-
Genesis gap theory for you?
why do that?
Yeah.
It makes no sense, even commonly it makes no
Yeah.
sense. You guys don't understand the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do,
I
and
know.
I've thought about it, I don't really care. I mean, I don't even care to hear the answer. Just
Well, the
doesn't-
answer is no.
Suits me.
It's basically no.
I think too, that these scientists, that the whole point, the spirit behind it, that's what you gotta look at,
Yes.
is they're trying to prove the Bible wrong.
That's
And
it.
there's only one reason
That's it.
why to prove the Bible wrong is an antichrist spirit, to
Right.
prove and try to prove that, or try to convince others Jesus is not who he says he is.
Right, that's
Because
it.
that's the only way to God. That's the only way we are who we are. So that's to me why that's behind it.
See, that's the common thread behind everything.
Everything.
Not just what you're talking about, it's behind all the liberals, all the people
Everything.
who hate us, all the
It's
people who try to
antichrist.
stop Israel, all the people who vote for child sacrifice, which is abortion, which are Democrats. All that, the common thread for all of them is iniquity.
Do you believe you can,
Lawlessness, godlessness.
do you believe you can only have good all the time, or do you have to have evil to have good? Do you have to have both? The yin and the yang?
Yeah, I think you gotta have both.
I don't think about that much, I don't really care.
Okay.
And the reason I don't is because I just choose good.
Well, it exists, it doesn't, you don't have a choice.
Not in this world.
Oh, are you
correct?
Let me clarify your question. Are you asking, do I believe that there doesn't have to be evil? Is that the question?
Yes.
We'd love that, but there ain't no way.
Well, the pause, the reason I'm giving that a pause is because if there's gonna be a choice, then you have to be able to choose evil if you want to.
There it is.
Okay,
You gotta have both.
okay.
But you don't have a choice. And God said, what? You have a choice. So, did God make evil? No.
No,
Who made evil?
man.
Right, Adam.
Right.
God said the tree, right there, of good and evil, were right there, and do not eat the fruit, or it'll open your eyes. He's saying, yeah, there's a choice, and you can or not, but don't, if you don't want to open up Pandora's box. That's what he's telling Adam.
So
That's what he's telling
why
you,
would the Father do that?
to have a choice.
I know, but why would he allow there to be a choice?
Well, see,
I think I know the answer.
He knew the answer before the foundation of the world, what was gonna happen.
Well, yeah, that's just because he's all wisdom. Doesn't mean he controls the answer. But he likes it when we choose him.
He gives us a
That's what he
choice.
likes.
If he doesn't, then we're nothing more than an angel. Angels didn't have choice.
Jesus Christ is the focal point of creation, always,
Why can't God see sin in you right now?
because of Jesus.
Oh, that's easy.
Why?
He sees Jesus.
He chooses not to. He is God. It's the same person, but yeah. So if he doesn't choose to see sin, then he's not going to choose to know, wait a minute, let me finish.
Okay.
Then he doesn't choose to know the outcome of the choice of good and evil. See, yes, he could, but he decides not to. Because if he did know, that wouldn't give us a choice, see? But you see that? It's a peril. That's why I keep saying, no, he didn't know, because he chooses not to know. Can he know? Yeah, he has the power to know.
Yeah.
But he chooses not to.
That's kind of like he's giving you dominion
I go
over
along with that.
everything, and it's not up to him to do anything.
No.
It's up to
But
you.
here's
Is he sovereign over this world? No,
Well,
he's not.
He's owner of it, but.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
I know you
Sovereign.
did. I know you did.
That's
But
authority.
what's your definition of sovereignty? That's
Authority.
In control, that's right,
Yeah.
authority.
He's not. We are.
Right.
But he chooses that. Can he? Yeah, he's all things to everybody. Yes, he's all this and all that. But he chooses not to be. Why? Because he loves us so much.
Here's one thing that he won't do. He can't choose to see me any different than how he sees Jesus.
He can't.
Right.
He chose not to.
Because he won't look at something that's not true. And that's true.
Right, because evil cannot be in his place. See, just because who he is, he destroys the frequencies of evil. That's why nobody could see him when he walked.
We're in agreement on that.
Yeah. Even if you weren't agreeing, I'll pray for you.
Hey, I'm in agreement with that.
I know.
Because I can sure miss it.
No, I mean, that's the final say on me. I'll pray for you. Hallelujah. What do you think, Eddie?
He sees the big picture more than we see.
Of course.
And what my little bitty sin I do,
That right there, you're wrong. So go ahead.
well, I mean, the evil that he sees, he would never see that in me because he sees why he created us.
Why did he create it?
Love us,
Yes.
and so,
But it's not you, little bitty. You got to get out of that. Jesus, if you were the only person that ever lived on this earth, would Jesus die for you to hang on the cross?
Absolutely.
yeah.
So you're not little bitty.
Well,
Yeah, no, there is no ifs and buts on this. This is the truth.
No little bitties.
You're a child of God.
it's a figure of speech.
Well, you can't use words because they got value.
Yeah,
Don't
but,
get defensive. Listen. Look, you're a child of the Most High God. He loves you more than anybody that's ever walked this earth.
But I'm here, and God is
Everywhere.
here,
He's everywhere.
and
But you're a representative of Him to be here.
that's true.
You know, this is, what y'all are talking about right now is the hardest thing
Yes.
for us to grasp.
Yes.
If we can somehow get into our prayer closet, me, and get a hold of this, and Richard's in a recent tape I heard spoke about this very same thing right here we're talking about, which is how are we ever going to grasp how good our righteousness is?
See,
It is
to me,
so good.
that scares me, to think.
It can't, yeah, I agree.
to think like that, because it's almost like,
It's just, but when we leave our bodies, it's like, bam, oh my gosh, look at this.
this
This is why we're into this. And this is the way we're going to keep it every week and week and week, because it's time.
That's right.
It's time to open it up. We're going to look into Pandora's box and see what we find. And if you're uncomfortable, I still love you, but you need to know this.
yeah, I know
I'm not
you know.
picking on you
No,
either.
I know,
Okay.
but,
He picks on me too.
Well, yeah, you deserve it.
it's just a growing process for a human being, to grow, to even think like you're talking
Oh,
about.
you're right.
I mean, it can't just happen like that,
Well,
to me.
How many years you been in here?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wish somebody told me this
I know.
45 or 50 years
Yeah,
ago.
but ifs, ands, and buts.
His word gives us how to do it. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's how you walk up the ladder.
And that will persuade your heart of at least who I am in Him, even if I can't see. We're not going to be able to see it all right now because we're looking through the mirror dimly.
You're looking through your physical senses, and that's why.
Right.
We're looking at our
Exactly.
physical senses
Right.
in our opinion. In our opinion,
It's based on what?
it's based on
All the
all
junk
the data that we've
Right.
received,
All the junk that went in.
which is probably 95% incorrect, maybe 100% incorrect.
It's about 70%
Okay.
incorrect.
And so the only thing you can choose is not my opinion, but his opinion. So that means most of the times what I'm thinking is wrong. But people don't want to give that up.
But they're only wrong because that's what they want. See, once again, it's a choice built on the information that you've gotten. But if you're getting different information, then the thought process should change.
Right,
See, the choice will never.
That's why you're here,
right.
to learn a different way to look. That's why Chris is here. That's why you're all here. So look, you're not gonna get the same old lullaby crap that you got growing up. This is not Sunday school, this is not church. This is here for one reason and one reason only, is to learn. And I'm in the process of learning too. I don't know it all. The more I know, the less I know, if that makes sense. That's what I've proven to myself. So, we're gonna keep doing this, and if it gets uncomfortable, don't come. That's all I can tell you, because we're not gonna change, or until the Holy Spirit tells me to change, and I don't see him doing that. But if you'll remember, a couple of weeks ago, I said, we're getting ready to make a change in here.
I remember that.
Some of you do, some of you don't. But this is the change I'm talking about. It's time for you guys to really ask the tough questions. That's what we're here for. I may not know it all, and I don't, but I can find out. And Chris is here to help me. Chris, you've been coming for so many years. I mean, you've been sitting there. But yes, it is good for all of us, because when he teaches in his church, he teaches this stuff. Watered down sometimes, but it's still here. He's getting the meat, and it's coming back. And it's a blessing. And when your people, Eddie, you're in there and they're asking you all this and that, you'll know. Why do you lay hands on the sick? So they'll recover.
That's a good answer, I love that.
Hallelujah. But this is the basic. This is a foundational truth, and you can't build anything without a good foundation.
Right.
And this is what we're doing. Hallelujah. So, yes, God knows everything, but he chooses not to.
Yep, the Philippians says, Jesus, he laid aside his attributes.
Yes.
So and I thought that was so powerful that he laid aside it says his godly attributes.
Yes, because he was God.
And that qualified him as our high priest.
Yes.
And that's what's amazing.
See, he made a choice not to sin, not because he was God, because he, like Chris so aptly put it, he set all that back down in heaven. He did it because he wanted to. As a flesh and blood human being. He got no more power than what we got right now. And he did it anyway. So could we live that life? Yeah, we could, but we didn't. But now, that doesn't matter. That was yesterday. God lives in the now. What does that mean? Now. That's what it means. There is no time with God.
Right.
It's always now. Think about that. Like the horizon like the horizons for beneath and the sea of death. The understanding of a good leader is broad and deep. Sun, what he's talking about is sun hitting the ocean and going down into the ocean. It's that deep. The understanding of a good leader is broad and deep, and most leaders in our lives, unfortunately, aren't. Remove impurities from the silver, and the silversmith can craft a fine chalice. Chalice is a mug you drink out of. Remove the wicked from leadership. That's what we're doing. And the authority will be credible and God-honoring. Honor God first in everything.
That's a good one.
Remove the impurities. Hallelujah.
Is that the same thing as drain the swamp?
Yep.
That is exactly the same.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
But we're so impatient, but see, God doesn't work in time. You just now. And that's where your belief comes. You don't believe to believe. You have to believe in the now. See, it's not...
But see, some of these folks that are in the swamp, seeing, feel, they're thinking right now, they're in the swamp, and we're gonna get cleaned out.
They are, they're threatened, yes.
They're threatened.
Yes.
And that's why they're raising so much Cain, but won't get him out of here so that maybe they won't clean the swamp.
And they did the best they could, and they still failed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what's going on. You remember manifestation? Oh, I'm just praying and hoping he's coming. You know, I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that denora right now, brother. We're waiting on it to happen. Who are you talking about? Is that the way God sees things? Aren't we supposed to be representatives of God on this earth? What did God think? There is no manifestation of God. It's just now. It always is. That's part you gotta change.
See, when you think like Lloyd just said, that your source is not the dinar, it's not the gold, it's him.
Right.
It's the kingdom of God.
Right. Yeah, all you do is move in a chess piece to help you out.
Right.
But he doesn't need to help you out because you already got it all. But that's how we think.
Right.
See, we always think like what you said, Eddie, my level's small. Well, that's how we all think, and that's wrong. We're not little, and we don't have small things. Yeah, but look what, well, because if I look at what you're saying, and your words have value, then you're gonna have what you say or say what you have. And if you say what you have, then yeah, you are small. But you said it, and you created it. God didn't. Satan can't. So who did it?
See, if let's say that Trump was not even born again when he became a billionaire. If he had believed that way, then he wouldn't have become a billionaire.
That's
Which
right.
he could do without being born again.
Yes.
Just by believing.
Yes. Belief is the strongest thing there is on this earth, in the physical and spiritual, if you believe in God. But if you don't believe in God, then you're wrong. It's that simple. Go to hell and find out. Hallelujah. But yes, it comes down to what do you believe? What is your faith based on? Well, I need more information. You don't get any information in faith. You either believe it or you don't. That's, you can't acquire information in this physical world to help you believe.
Oh, that's true.
See what did Jesus tell all those people around him? If I did another miracle, you'd only believe it for a day. Then you want me to do something else to confirm it. You can't believe from manifestation. That's what I keep telling you. Forget that. It has no relevance at all.
That's why he said a wicked, perverse generation asks for a sign
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
for that reason.
yeah. And they would, if he did it, they'd do it again. That's why he kept running from them all the time.
And you know what? We got some Old Testament examples of that too. It just amazes me still. David, just take him. I mean, here's Goliath. He had no proof that guy's going to fall down, but here he comes. I just love that. He's so good.
And what came out of David's mouth?
That's right.
You uncircumcised Philip, right there tells you he's not circumcised. He's a Philistine, he doesn't believe in God. And he told him exactly what he was going to do to him.
Here we go.
He planted words.
There we go.
The words worked just as good back 3,000 years ago as they do today. That's why you can't afford to say, I'm down so long, it looks like up to me. You can't do that anymore.
You know, that's why I go.
Because you're cursing yourself.
If you jump to Revelations 12:11, where it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And to me, this is the key to this scripture, because they were not willing to be afraid of losing their own life
Right.
unto death. You remember that part that says unto death? Right there. That's the commitment that you got to make to his promises.
What did Paul say? If I had my way, I'd be gone.
That's right.
Right? You think about you and think about me. I want out, but I can't go because of you. So I have to sit down here and teach you. And that's where we all should be. I can't go because you're here holding me down. Well, that's right. And it's not just you, but you know what I'm saying. It's my daughter and kid, grandkids and all that.
There's your message. Don't go.
Yeah, I can't. He won't let me. I mean, he would but I don't want to do that. I want to please the Father. So this is why I'm here. Hallelujah. Don't work yourself into the spotlight. Don't push your way into the place of prominence. It's better to be promoted to a place of honor than face humiliation by being devoted. It's better to be promoted to the place of honor than face humility. Don't push your way into the place of prominence. It's better to be promoted to a place of honor than face humiliation by being demoted. So it's not about what you want, it's about what you're supposed to have. You remember, God sees us all as what? Kings of this world. We're ambassadors from Him. That's why I'm not the head, I'm not the tail, I'm the head, I'm above and not below, I'm more than a conqueror. That's what He's talking about. This is who you are. That's how you're supposed to speak. Oh, little me, you're limiting yourself to what you're saying. And yeah, it sounds great and humble, but that's not. And that's what the church teaches. Whip yourself in the back and crawl on the thing for that's crap. That's not
penance.
humility.
That's penance.
Yes,
And repentance is different from
Right.
it.
yes, you don't repent from anything.
Right, you just change
And
your
walk
mind.
away, yes.
Right,
You
just
change the thought process. It's the energy that's coming out of your mouth and your body and your heart. You change that to be in harmony with God. That's all about that. Look, you're so powerful. You have the authority of God. And whatever comes out of your mouth is what's going to happen. That is the reality. That's why God lives in the now. It's not coming. You know why we don't get the stuff that we want? Because we don't think we're worth having it.
Well, it goes back to works then.
Yes, exactly. So, low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's good.
Until you understand who you are, nobody really understands who they are. Nobody does.
It's true.
But you can understand more than the person next to you if you want to. I want to. I want to know. I want to have every aspect of everything that Jesus gave me that he got from God. And little by little, it's coming. Why is it little by little? Because that's all I can understand with my peanut brain. And why is my brain a peanut? Because I just said it was. It's not. But I've been taught that. That's why I do all this stuff. I use both sides of my brain, not just one or the other.
And the other side is the pictures, right?
Yeah, imagination, the right-hand side. Yeah, the left-hand side is, what do you call it?
Logic.
Arithmetic and logic, yeah. But you can do both simultaneously at the same time. And you get both of both worlds. That's how Jesus walked. It's there for you if you want it. Praise God. Don't jump to conclusion. There may be a perfectly good explanation for what you just saw. And you know, your eyes are like cameras and they can be full. That easy. Well, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. How many magicians have you seen on TV that do all these card tricks and stuff and they disappear, elephants, boats and stuff, right? And you say, wow, it disappeared. No, it didn't disappear. But that's what we're talking about. You can't rely just on what your eyes see because your eyeballs are like cameras.
Well, your believing is the seeing. It's not seeing is believing.
But our belief is tied into what we see by nature,
But I believe
It's really
in I believe in is seeing in the spirit what's there, pain, now.
Yes. Yeah, that's why faith walks by.
faith, not by sight.
There it is. That's why. Yes. In the heat of the argument, don't betray confidences. Don't stab your buddy in the back. Word is sure to get around, and no one will trust you. If you have the reputation of being a backbiting scum dog, backstabbing, gossiping, listening, foul-mouthing, what else is that doing? You're just piling it on yourself. You can't hurt anybody by dog cussing them out. You sure can yourself. The right word at the right time is like a custom-made piece of jewelry. And a wise friend truly, a wise friend's timely, I can't read it backwards. Preemulated, I don't know. Is like a gold ring slipped on your finger. The right word at the right time is like a custom-made piece of jewelry. Okay, that's custom-made piece of jewelry. A friend's timely reprimand is like a gold ring slipped on your finger. Be careful when you get all these accolades coming from somebody. Oh, you're so big and you're so strong. Are you really that old? Ah, you can't be that old. Yeah. Why do you think they're doing that to you? Because the
Want
human,
something from you.
that and the human ego loves that stuff. It's filling up your ego, your self-worth, your value. You know, we all like to hear it, even though it's got no substance, but we all need to feel it. So you have to be careful when people are doing all this thing. The bellowing clouds that bring no rain is the person who talks big but never produces. You ever had somebody like that?
Oh, yes.
Reliable friends who do what they say are like cool drinks in a sweltering heat, refreshing. Hallelujah. Patient, persistent, through indifferences. Gentle speech breaks down rigid defenses. In truth. That's being true. A person without self-control, when you're given a box of candy, don't gulp it all down. Eat too much chocolate and you'll make yourself sick. And when you find a friend, don't outwear your welcome. Show up at all the hours and he'll soon be fed up. Anyone who tells lies against the neighbors in court or on the street is a loose cannon. Can have what you say or say what you have. Trusting a double crosser when you're in trouble is like biting down on an abscessed tooth. Singing light songs to the heavy-hearted is like pouring salt in their wounds. If you see an enemy hungry, go buy him lunch. If he's thirsty, bring him a drink. Your generosity will surprise him with goodness. And God will look after you. That's seed time and harvest. That's love your neighbor as yourself. That's where all this is coming from. Hallelujah. Better to live alone in a tumble-down shack than share a mansion with a nagging spouse.
Oh, amen.
I can say that, brother. I've been in both. And it's awful. Hallelujah. Like a cool drink of water when you're worn out and weary is a letter from a long lost friend. You ever gotten a conversation, a telephone call, a letter from a long lost friend? Somebody that you were friends with when you were a kid or acquaintance, you know what I'm saying? I used to get those. Most of them are dead now, but I used to get them every once in a while. I'm outliving my friendships. I never had that many anyway, but hallelujah. A good person who gives in to a bad person is a muddied spring and polluted well. When you succumb to somebody's influences over you, you have what? What have you done? You're giving away your authority over you. That's what Adam did. Same thing. If you do that, hallelujah. But if you do it in love, what does that make a difference? See, these are the questions that you really need to know, because we usually follow an existence of what's right and what's wrong. Hallelujah. A person without self-control is like a house with its doors and windows knocked out. Hallelujah. That's it. It's kind of short. Hallelujah.
Have you ever really paid attention to a guy that's doesn't have a lot of self-control?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know some of them.
Yeah.
I was partners with a couple of them.
I've seen a lot of kids in my life, and a lot of those kids that couldn't have self-control or, they were always miserable. They were always a fight getting ready to happen. Somebody always challenging. I wouldn't want to live like that. I mean, you say something, I've coached a lot of guys, and some of them that you say something the wrong thing to them, they want some of you so bad they can taste it. But part of being a coach and coaching players to become good athletes and under control is breaking down that little wall rebellion, that they think they're bad, you know?
You know why they do all that? Because they're afraid.
Yeah.
They got very low self-esteem. And
That's true.
you know, they'll take anything they do that they are afraid of, that makes them fear, they attack it. My dad was that way. I grew up in that kind of household. He would attack it. That's all he knew, because he didn't have the teaching to be mature to control himself. So all he needed to do was physical.
Let's just say it wasn't you, but a good friend of his. What could he say to your father to bring that to light and to get him out of that?
Get him out of that mood? Never happened. He was in that mood the day he died.
I mean, but if you could say something to somebody, whether he would listen or not, what would you say to him to get rid of the low self-esteem?
Love.
Yeah.
But he was never at that opportunity. He wouldn't listen. When my father, he had about 2 seconds to talk to him, and after that, he turned into the Hulk. All he saw was red. And somebody had to die. And it didn't matter who you were. That's the way he was.
When I first came to Shanley to coach and teach, I came with another guy. We played together on the same college team. And when there was a bully in Shanley that had a lot of the players on the football team scared to death because he was always bullying them around, fighting, you know, hanging around when he wasn't supposed to do. He'd already graduated. And some of those guys that played for me told me about it. And so I went to this boy that came with me. I said, you know, we need to go get this boy straightened out, because he's creating some ill will here among our players. Because we were tough on them, you know, and they, you know, it's just one of those things you gotta. So we sent word out. We put the fleece out to some kids that we're looking for him, that we're gonna change. We're gonna, hey, if he stays in Shanley, he's gonna have to conform. It's the way, it's a new sheriff, there's 2 new sheriffs in town. And, you know, he had a brother that played for us. And he was a great, great athlete, great player. So he came to me one day and he said, Coach, he said, my brother heard that y'all were wanting some of him and looking for him, and you're gonna challenge him, either get him straightened out, or he's gonna have to move out of town. He made a decision, he's gonna move.
Good.
He left town. We hadn't seen him, hadn't heard of him, and you wouldn't believe how many of those kids came back to us, you know, through the years and telling us stories about just putting out the word on it.
Yeah, he was fearful of. He can beat you out one-on-one maybe.
Yeah.
He probably was a big kid. But yeah, once you get him down and look, it's not that you can't whip me, but it's going to take you all day to do it.
Yeah.
He ain't going to take it.
Right.
Because he's afraid that you're going to whip him. But that's the way it is. All bullies, I don't care how many or where they're at, they're afraid.
Yeah, he left. I think he moved.
He didn't want to get his butt kicked. But that's how you take care of bullies. I had a kid, because I can only talk about me, and I was like in the 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. This kid was in the 10th or 11th. He was driving, so he was at least in his 10th grade. And he wanted to beat me up for something. I guess he wanted a star.
You're bigger than him.
Oh, of course, I'm bigger than most everybody. But I was dumb. I had no self-value or anything else. Walking around saying, why is that guy funny looking because he's got an aura? What's that mean? You know, that's all I knew. I was totally defenseless and stupid. Never had a fight in my life. Did never have to. But this guy, and he was a lot smaller than me, but he challenged me, and we were at baseball practice. And my dad was there, and my mother was there, and my sister was there.
How old were you?
8th 8th grade, what, 13, 14? Anyway, so after it was out, you know, my dad had to be the center of the thing, so he's giving us rules. You can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this. And I'm just sitting there like watching the clouds go by. And I remember the kid hit me right in the eye. I mean, come boom. And I said, I ain't gonna have any of that. So we got into it. I mean, we were wham, 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 wham. And I guess I was getting the best of him. I should have, I was twice his size. And then he tried to do a double leg on me, takedown on me, you know what I mean? And my dad said, no, none of this, none of this. We're wrestling, we're gonna fight. And
Who's that, your dad?
oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was controlling the whole thing anyway, that's what he did. So I was not gonna get beat, because if I did, my dad would have really kicked my ass. So I gave it all I had, and it was over. You know, I don't know how long it lasted, but I remember it. And anyway, I got in the car, and my dad was proud, and my son kicked me. And then all of a sudden, I broke out crying, just instantly crying. And I don't know why. I do know why now, I didn't know why then, because all the emotion was built up into me, and it was all negative emotion. And I started crying. I remember my dad looking back at me, what are you doing, boy? Why are you crying? I don't know. But I remember, and that was about the only fight I ever had in high school. Of course, when I got in the Navy, it was different, but back then, it was a different world. So, and emotion, I was very emotional back then. Still am, but I'm out of control now. But I didn't have any control, Eddie. I didn't have control over me. I had no control over my emotions. I had no control over the circle of influence that I may have or had not. But I wasn't. That was, I tell you, I understand about the maturity of an individual. The only reason I was playing football and baseball because I was bigger than everybody, and when I hit the ball, it didn't come down, you know, and all this. But that's not what I was there to do. I didn't want to do that, but I did it anyway because I was afraid of my dad more.
Hey, when I was in college, playing ball, we used to have fights all the time in practice.
Oh,
The coach that we had was a brute. His whole philosophy is to make you as tough as you could.
Yeah.
And not how to play football better, but just to be a tough guy. And so he sort of kind of made it, fostered the atmosphere for people to fight. And there was one guy, he was a big old kid, but he was lazy and he didn't have any technique or anything, but he'd hold you every play. Just grab you and hold you. Well, you know, when somebody's got your jersey or got your arm locked right here, you can't pursue, you can't do anything, you can't. Hey, I'm trying to work myself into a starting position. You know, he's holding me around my leg. So one day, you know, I told him, I said, now look, I'm gonna tell you one time, you hold me again, I'm gonna bash your brains out. Well, he helped me, and I got on top of him and I beat him like an ugly dog. And you know what?
No more holding.
No more holding. Coach didn't say one word. Nobody tried to break it up. Everybody knew what was going on. He did that to everybody. Because because of his lack of ability, he made up for it trying to hold people, you know, to block. Well, in a ball game, that ain't gonna work. Somebody gonna get 15 yards.
Well, why didn't the coach?
Oh yeah, never just because he was teaching toughness, you know. And it's a wonder somebody didn't get killed the way some of the stuff he did. And I said, as long as I coach, if I ever do anything stupid like this to brutalize kids, you know, football is not made that way.
Right.
It's a tough sport, but you don't do it to brutalize people.
Right.
And to prove that you're a tough guy.
But the coach was living through the
Yeah.
brutalization of the kids.
Yeah.
See? He was right there. And
Yeah, he loved that kind of stuff.
those are people, I don't have it.
But that's one thing I can